Today we are critiquing and analysing the entire Fallen album by Evanescence. We are going to discuss the songs both musically and lyrically. I have covered Evanescence extensively on the channel, so if you'd like to see my other Evanescence content, the Evanescence Reactions playlist is in the description. Before we continue, please like and subscribe, and let's get right into the first song, the classic, legendary hit, Going Under.
Now I will tell you what I've done for you.
Okay, right away, I'm getting chills. What an opening moment. Just Amy's super low range. I believe that's a low E that she's hitting there. I'm not sure if I've ever heard her sing lower than this throughout their discography. So it's such an interesting intro to the album that we're starting off so low, so gritty, so intense like that. And paired with the guitar riff, just incredible. The imagination already on display in these few seconds, stellar. Let's start again.
Now I will tell you what I've done for you. 50,000 tears I've cried, screaming, deceiving, and bleeding for you.
And the dissonant pianos, too, the texture. The foreshadowing of the chorus. The hand claps actually do add a cool effect to the song with the video. What a groove. A brief heavenly lift here for the pre-chorus, and then magic. Damn. Wow. What makes this song so powerful is the contrast tonally between the verses and the pre-chorus and the chorus. The verses have this dirty groove going. Amy is singing so low in her range, and then by contrast, the chorus is quite high up there in a higher register. Belted, open, powerful. I also love how the pre-chorus is like a full dropout instrumentally before the huge power chords of the chorus hit. Another thing that makes the chorus hit so powerfully, again, is those dissonant pianos throughout the verse. So dissonance basically is when the note kind of clashes with everything else that's going on harmonically. So these piano notes, they sound a bit off, like they're not quite right. Really creates an unsettling feeling, and this contrasts beautifully with the chorus that is very harmonically harmonious. All the notes and chords fit together. Also, the lead vocal melody in the chorus is so distinct. So even if the chord progression is one that is quite familiar and I guess relatively safe, it's actually the vocal melody that gives the chorus its power more than the chord progression. Like, what a melody. It's so good. Also paired with the lyrics, like, it's perfection. The counterpoint background vocals going on there, so affecting. Let's keep this going. And the little sigh that, small touches in the vocal performance to make it so captivating. So much cool stuff going on here. I absolutely love that part. Trust myself anymore. I think I love it because it's an unexpected burst of passion in a verse that is otherwise dominated by those lower, creepy vocals. such an amazing song. Like, how do you even think of this? So far away. Delicate delivery of that line also pops out at you because it is a contrast to the insane belting, so it just adds another color, another little bit of emotion to the performance. So good. You know, solid guitar solo. I wish it were longer. We only have about 4 bars of a solo there, but could have easily have been a good 8-bar solo like in Haunted. But maybe because the chord progression is, again, like I said, rather basic, maybe it would have gotten a little overly repetitive if the solo were longer, now that I think about it. Her outfit and makeup in this video is so iconic. Absolutely love the background vocals. Some repetition of the main line here to just nail it home. And the ending of this video is rather chilling because, as we all know, it's reflective of real life, of what was actually happening in the band at that time. There was a lot of tension between Amy and Ben. I think they both knew that they were making art imitate life with that little stare down. And it was the last song that was written for Fallen. So interesting to open the album with this song. And I suppose that's a good segue into the lyrics. You know, the song is pretty much just about someone who is pretty much being domineering over you. And it also could be about not being able to resist their influence or their temptation. I still think it's up in the air as to whether Amy and Ben were ever romantically involved, and that could be why there is a lot of pain and tension in a lot of Amy's lyrics regarding him, and also his songs about her, vice versa. I just find it hard to imagine that two friends who, you know, had a falling out would fall out this badly over something. Pure speculation, of course, but you know, the chorus, I'm going under, drowning in you. I'm falling forever. I've got to break through. Like she's desperate to break out. Blurring and stirring the truth and the lies, so I don't know what's real and what's not. Literally the definition of being gaslit. Being gaslit, is that a term? Always confusing the thoughts in my head so I can't trust myself anymore. It makes a lot more sense once you have an idea of how Amy felt about Ben. And it's actually insane that he would have approved this song and these lyrics going forward as they are, unless, as I said, he was kind of down for letting art imitate life, putting their actual dirty laundry into their lyrics, and being the villain in the music. All right, let's move on to the big one of the day, Bring Me to Life. Really takes me right back. We're gonna break all this down in a sec. Again, what an amazing chorus. Literally change lives. So I keep using this word iconic, but it's true that this group, with this song alone, changed the musical landscape and spurred a whole new generation of artists and musical tastes. Like, they really changed the game. This is such an unforgettable, memorable, iconic, I'll say it again, track. Just how it opens here with the delicate piano and Amy's voice. That reminds me, actually, I actually took part in a full band playthrough cover video of this song. So I'll link that down below. But yeah, let's just focus on what's going on here.
How can you see into my eyes like open doors?
It's such a haunting melody, the way that it flows, the way that her delivery suddenly grips you. At the time, like, we had never heard a voice like this in the mainstream. I'm sure there are examples, but I guess I'm just speaking for myself. This was just something that was so captivating, and of course still is. We are all still living for this track all these years later, and honestly, this whole album, it sounds just so fresh to this day. It doesn't sound dated to my ears at all. I am being as objective as possible when I say that, but I think it is just the core strength of the songwriting, not just the genre or general style of the album, but the strength of the songwriting will always make music timeless. And as I was learning this song for the purpose of the cover, I realized how much dissonance is actually in that string arrangement. Lots of clashing tones, lots of real tension. Fits really well with the darkness of the song. Again, the backing vocals adding a whole other dimension. The vocal performance is just terrific. Like, I have actually no words to describe her performance on this song. Let's talk about the inclusion of Paul McCoy. I'm not gonna lie, I think that the label were onto something when they suggested that this song needed a quote-unquote rapper. It's very rare that I would go against the artist's vision like that, because this song was never supposed to have any male vocals or any rapping or anything of the sort. But the inclusion of Paul was a compromise with the label that insisted that they sound more like Linkin Park, basically. So Amy pretty much wrote Paul's parts in as best she could. And honestly, for me, like, this is the definitive version of the song. I think he adds a lot of power and contrast to the song. Without him, it wouldn't have been as big as it was. That's just a stone cold fact, okay? It really did add an extra layer of catchiness to the song that made it span over multiple audiences. His actual talent is on full display with the way he sings these parts. I think he was the perfect guy. There is actually a lot of melody in what he does in this song. The Save Me, like, that's 100% a song melody there. So both Amy and Paul completely ate this up vocally. Considering that duet was forced upon the band, I mean, they made the best of a bad situation, 100%. I love how in this second verse, the drums are in full force, as opposed to the electronic drum kit in the first verse. You hear those high strings here? They're a really nice touch. And the harmonies during the chorus. So the lead vocal is going, "Wake me up inside, wake me up inside." And the harmonies underneath are going, "Wake me up inside, wake me up inside." So there's two layers going on right there if you pay attention. And, depending on how often you've heard this song, you may already know that. But in case you didn't, listen out for that second harmony underneath. One other thing that I think is really interesting about this chorus, and this is going to get rather technical, but I'll try to keep it understandable. This part right here. Save me from the... So that moment, it feels very tense, and you're waiting for it to land on the next moment, where she says, "Dark," right? That's the moment where it lands. But what's interesting about the chord progression there is that when she goes, "Save me," the chord is landing on the 1, the minor first, which normally is used as a resolution and rarely used for tension in this way. So the fact that they achieve that amount of tension right there with a chord that is normally used as a resolution and not tension is insane to me. And it totally works, by the way. I'm just amazed that that's how the chorus works. Let's keep it going. This part is quite tense. What a bridge. I mean, it's kind of a post-chorus, I guess. I mentioned the R&B influence a little bit in my Immortal, but it's starting to come through a little bit here too. Just the way the harmonies are layered on the sides, and the fact that we're kind of focused on the heavy grooves plus smooth harmonies. It's reminiscent of, something that you might hear from En Vogue or TLC. And maybe that's just me, but like if you listen to a lot of R&B, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Insane bridge. Insane. Just the way that this bridge moves, it is very cinematic, isn't it? Like something you'd hear in a Disney movie or something like that. It's very smooth, very smooth. Very romantic, passionate, and powerful. Like, come on, that's so good. His parts are so good. Her parts layered over. Classic Beauty and the Beast. Scream. She ate up this vocal so bad, I can't even believe it. A little break there in the instrumental to increase the tension. A reprisal, the post-chorus for the outro. So much counterpoint vocal harmony going on. How am I still so blown away by this? Just the final outro is so powerful, the lead up to it, the tension, it's like climbing a mountain. Otherworldly. And the subtle, dissonant strings to lead us out. So good. I'm happy. I actually can't think of anything critical to say about this song. It's just one of those songs that if you changed anything about it, it would not be in its favor. You know, I really think that they landed on the perfect composition for this. And I do want to stress, I think Paul McCoy is essential. Maybe controversial opinion, I stand by that. And lyrically, you know, this is also something that's been discussed a lot, but the song is pretty much about a time when Amy, I believe she was in a relationship with someone. Who that someone is, I don't know, but she was unhappy. And then she basically met a man who is her current husband, and that man suggested to her that he knew deep down that she wasn't happy, or he asked her if she was happy, and that basically was the catalyst for her changing her life and leaving a situation where she felt numb. So this man, metaphorically, figuratively, brought her to life. I love the lyrics of this song. There is a beautiful element of poetry, while also keeping things not too obtuse. How can you see into my eyes like open doors, leading you down into my core where I've become so numb? The storytelling, there's a visual that comes to mind there. My spirit sleeping somewhere cold until you find it there and lead it back home. Absolutely amazing. You know, not only is the song so strong musically, but the core message of it and these lyrics really do speak to so many people. It's so relatable despite there being a very theatrical and dramatic quality to the music and a sort of fantastical nature to the lyrics. The next song is Everybody's Fool.
Dinner's ready.
Been a while since I've seen this music video.
I
love it.
And you made it all by yourself? That's our girl. There is nothing better than a good lie.
Love the acoustic guitar intro. So I have a question for you guys. When you hear this riff, do you hear da-na-na-na, or do you hear da-na-na-na? Because I hear both. The reason why is those two notes are being played at once in the guitar chord, and I used to hear the first version, but now I hear the second version, and it kind of alternates, so I'm wondering which one you guys hear, the first or the second. It's interesting how the guitar riff is mixed in the center for this first verse, and once we hit the second verse, the full 2 or 3 or 4 guitars are hitting us from all angles. That's a really nice development in the arrangement and production. This might be another somewhat controversial opinion, but this has never been one of my favorite songs from this album. It's okay. Like, the chorus is definitely catchy. Never was was and never will be. Like, there's something kind of folky about it, or something like kind of like almost like you could sing it around a campfire. So for that reason, there is a little bit of a disconnect between the actual meaning of the song and the vibe that the melody gives off. That is just me subjectively as a listener, though. I'm just trying to come up with a reason for why maybe this song doesn't hit as much as some of the others on the album. I think also like the general atmosphere is not so distinct as the atmosphere might be in a song like Haunted or Imaginary, where you kind of like really get what the song is going for. This one, it's like, it's generic, but not in a bad way. But I struggle to see what makes this song so special compared to some of the others on the album, except for how the chorus is pretty catchy. I can give it that. And of course, Amy's performance on it is amazing. The lyrics too, of course, I think may be a big reason why people connect with this song, but we will talk about those after we're done with the music. And the video also obviously ties into the meaning behind the lyrics. You hear those guitars in full force now. Just in case you didn't notice, the guitar riff here is the same one as the intro. The bridge, though.
It's definitely hard.
One thing I really don't like is when music videos interrupt the music with sound effects, as in this situation here. It's still happening in modern music videos. Just a moment where storytelling is prioritized over musical appeal. That's fair enough, but I really do love this bridge, so I hate the idea that it's being talked over like this.
Oh my god. It's definitely hard. I mean, it's definitely.
A bit ironic, I know, because I am talking over a lot of this music, but I feel like I have a good reason for it.
Oh my god. It's definitely hard. I mean, it's definitely. Excuse me.
The choir. Really epic. Spooky. This part is the best part of the song. Yeah, so that part of the song is amazing. Such simple lyrics. I know the truth now. I know who you are, and I don't love you anymore. And just delivered in that super passionate high place in her register. I know the truth now. So epic. So that part is definitely a highlight of the album. Very intense imagery in the music video. The drama. She's actually a really solid actress. Really embodying this character. And that dissonant, unresolved chord in the choir at the very end is a good, tasteful touch. Leaves us feeling like we're kind of hanging, looking for an answer. It's a good song, of course. Just was never one of my favorites. I was actually surprised when it was announced as a single. I would never have chosen it for a single. But if this is one of your favorite songs, let me know why and what you love about it. As we all know, the lyrics were inspired by, I believe it was, mainstream pop stars of the time, namely Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. I think everyone knows that, who Amy perceived to be fake in their pursuits. Look, here she comes now. Bow down and stare and wonder. Oh, how we love you. No flaws when you're pretending. There's definitely a certain power and bite to Amy's lyrics. However, in recent years, she has admitted that maybe her feelings were a little misdirected, and she has talked about how she does feel like she was overly judgmental in this song. So that's why she feels uncomfortable performing it nowadays. But I think their lyrics are always written in a way where you can apply it to whatever meaning you want. So I don't think that anyone should feel bad for enjoying this song. Just thought I should address the commonly known meaning amongst the fans. Next is My Immortal, and this is a song that I have actually covered twice before on the channel because I reacted to the Origin album and covered the band version, which is probably how a few of you found yourselves here. So you can find links to those in the Evanescence Reactions playlist. I won't go too deep into this version, as there's only a few comments I can make that don't apply to the other versions. But let's enjoy it anyway, because it is a stunning rendition of this song, of course. And maybe the most well-known version, ironically enough.
I'm so tired of being here, suppressed by all my
Always gets me.
childish fears. And if you have to leave, I wish that you would just leave, 'cause your presence still lingers here, and it won't leave me alone. These wounds won't seem to heal. This pain is just too real. There's just too much that time cannot erase. When you cried, I'd wipe away all of your tears.
So gorgeous.
When you scream, I'd fight away all of your fears. And I held
The string arrangement
your hand through all
is what makes this version special.
you still have all of me.
Wow. In listening to this, it's making me aware just how rarely I listen to this version of the song, and this song in general. I think because this song is, I guess, overplayed. They play it at every show, everyone knows it. But yeah, of course, this is a stunning version of the song. Again, probably the most well-known version. I wonder how, the first time I heard this album, I never noticed that her voice was more childlike in this recording, less mature. So in case you're not aware, this vocal recording, pretty much most of this recording, the arrangement and everything, was done prior to the Fallen sessions. It's from an earlier album of theirs called Origin, which was a demo album that they created in order to market themselves. Amy wanted to re-record this song for Fallen, but some studio exec was like, no, we have to put the Origin version on the album. And there was a lot of protest about that, and that's pretty much why the band version exists. The band version is pretty much the band's vision of what they eventually wanted this song to be. But this version is kind of what was, again, forced on them by the studio execs. Although this version has the elaborate string arrangement that the earlier Origin version doesn't. And that's why I keep harping on about the string arrangement, which is absolutely stunning, by the way. That lone cello moment is so good.
Captivate me by your resonating light. Now I'm bound by the life you left behind. Your face it haunts my once pleasant dreams. Your voice it chases
It definitely has
all the
quite a different vibe to the band version.
These wounds won't seem to heal.
As I said in the band version, there was a certain element of polish to the and performances and production, and this does have that beautiful rawness, a more earthy feeling to it, that I guess is more human, okay? Because there isn't as much fidgeting around with tweaking things to perfection. It's quite apparent when I listen to it right now, you know? A little bit of David Hodges' vocal there in the background. So beautiful. Love it. Love those strings. Like, how can two different versions of a song both be equally perfect? It really just depends on what you're looking for, what you personally prefer. But this is outstanding. Still, it makes me emotional. Second time I've heard this song today. And I just realized I never talked about the lyrics of this song in my analysis of the band version. I think this is one of those songs where the lyrics are a bit more harder to pin down. To me, it seems simply about someone who's left you, someone who either has died or dumped you, pretty much. You used to captivate me by your resonating light. Now I'm bound by the life you left behind. Like, this person is constantly reminded of this person who is gone. This pain is just too real. There's too much that time cannot erase. This person feels like they'll never get over this person. They'll never live life without this person. It's really quite a heartbreaking song, and certainly something that's very relatable, no matter what situation you're in that you can apply it to. Let's move on to the next song, which is one of my favorites on the album, Haunted. The sound design.
Long lost words whisper slowly to me.
The layering of the vocals.
You can't find what keeps me here.
The soundscape, the storytelling. A little bit of a hip-hop feel. Wow. Yeah, this is just another incredible track, in my opinion. I'm not sure if it's many people's favorites, as the atmosphere of this one is very much that of like a horror situation. a haunted house. You're getting ghoulish, tormented soul type feeling from this track, which is a little detached from some of the more human emotions on some of the other songs. But I just love the horror fantasy of this. It's so imaginative. The sound design is incredible. Her voice creeps in and out and overlaps like a ghost or an apparition might sound if you were experiencing them in the hallway of like a dark, possessed house. And like Amy is just the perfect vocalist for a song like this. This song has a slight compositional similarity to Going Under in that its impact is based on a lot of clashing and dissonance in the intro and the verse, moving into a more melodic chorus. Although the chorus of this one is not quite as openly melodic as Going Under, but it's still a little bit more sing-alongable, shall we say. Just a wonderful balance, utterly captivating. Let's continue. Feedback. Maybe the filthiest drop in the whole album. And Amy's powerful vocals swimming over it. Outstanding. Some intense lyrics there. We'll talk about those after the song. Here we have an amazing guitar solo, the only real guitar solo from Ben in the album. We're going to Church in Hell. Guys, come on, how is that not one of your favorites? It hits so hard, it's so heavy, it's such a monstrous track. So many cool elements. Just the way that the guitar solo elevates things into a final chorus that is simply spectacular, with Amy's ad-libs over the choir bellowing out those lyrics. Like, are you kidding me? Freaking unbelievable. I'm a bit sad that they never performed this song live with that full choir like that. I think it would be so epic. Another cool thing compositionally that you might not have noticed about this song is that there is a key change. The key change happens after the second chorus into the guitar solo. Here we go. So here we have a key change up. There's that key change. I think it goes up a full step. And then for the final chorus, we actually have another key change and we drop the key back down to the regular key, which makes it sound even filthier, like you're really dropping into the depths of hell with it. When a lot of people hear the term key change, they know what it means, but not entirely. You can change keys up and you can also change keys down. Like when most people think of a key change, they think of that final chorus in a song where it goes up a key. But as shown in this song, you can actually go down a key as well for the same kind of impact. Nightwish are a good example of a group that constantly move up and down keys throughout the song. I don't think Evanescence actually change keys that much in their songs, now that I think about it. There may be another example on this album that we come across that I'm not remembering right now. Lyrically, I've read that the song is based on a short story that Ben wrote. So it is kind of like purely fiction. It's about a little girl who gets trapped in some kind of haunted house, or it's about some soul that is unable to escape a house. So basically a house that is possessed by a demon or something like that. But there are some pretty intense lyrics here, notably in the second chorus, and a lot of fans have arrived at the conclusion that the song may be getting at like SA, and that is perfectly valid and probably a more meaningful, I'd say, interpretation of these lyrics, because there is that final mantra at the end, "I won't let you pull me down," delivered with such ferocity and conviction by Amy. Like, this is literally so iconic right here. Like, there is so much strength and inspiration to be taken from that one line. It's actually making me emotional. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee or I'm going to start sobbing. One thing about Evanescence reactions is I always end up crying. Pretty common thread. Me keeping a stoic, unaffected demeanor. It's not going to happen. Okay, moving on to Tourniquet. Nice little atmospheric pause before kicking into this banger. What a riff. Beautiful melodic line over the main riff too. Love how we've increased the tempo for this song. It's a little faster than Haunted. Again, the R&B goddess, the soul goddess. So catchy. So what a lot of fans might not know about this song is that it is kind of a cover. It's a cover of a death metal band's song. So basically, I think that the guitar riffs are borrowed from that song, but pretty much the vocal melody is original. I don't know if the lyrics are original, but considering the differences between this version and the original, I think you might as well consider this an original song. It's more of like an interpolation, I'd say. This song is certainly a highlight of the album too. It just has a unique atmosphere compared to some of the other tracks. Fitting with the lyrics, there's a certain spirituality to it, a certain soul influence reflected in the vocal melody, like soul music, gospel music. This song is also insanely catchy, and this is something that I think a lot of copycat bands are unable to replicate. Obviously, once Evanescence broke loose on the scene, there were a number of copycat bands that appeared over the years, and I'm not going to name names, but what makes Evanescence special is their ability to craft this haunting atmosphere, but also make songs that are very catchy, they stick in your head, and they're memorable and very strong at the foundation. It's not just about being gothic and being heavy and all this. It's about like knowing what you're doing musically and lyrically and getting the right balance of all the elements. And this album just hits that nail on the head so hard. I know I'm glazing on most of these songs, but I will have some more critical comments coming. I'm just waiting for particular songs for those moments to come. But honestly, I truly feel like this song is incredible. Let's see what else comes up. Another thing that you might not have noticed before is that the string arrangement behind this verse is the same string arrangement that happens at the end of the song transitioning to imaginary.
My God, my tourniquet, return to me salvation. Do you remember me? Lost for
So groovy, you know? And I love this particular lyric.
Will you be on the other side, or will you forget me?
Just
I'm dying,
makes me so happy.
praying,
It's so good.
bleeding, and screaming.
Epic.
Am I too lost to be saved? Am I too lost?
Fantastic melodies, fantastic grooves, fantastic progressions. Not wasting any time. No fluff. No faffing around.
My God, my tourniquet, return to me
Okay. Okay, truthfully, that instrumental is a little mid. It doesn't really have the power of the rest of the song. I know I just got done saying that it's kind of like no filler, but that bridge feels a bit shoehorned in. It fits, I guess, just as a brief break, but what would have really brought this song home from 100% to 110% would be a more imaginative bridge, maybe something softer. Like you might get in Imaginary. I know we're not trying to make every single song sound the same, but you know what I mean? Like it's just some generic riffs and a few nods to the chorus. The scream in the background is pretty cool, pretty epic. But that is one honest thought I'd have about this song. Love the development of the final chorus, the different lyrics. Again, some very intense lyrical themes we have here. We'll talk about those in a sec. Okay. So I was trying to debate whether to discuss the lyrics of this song before the outro or after the outro, since the outro goes so nicely into Imaginary. I've decided that I'm going to do it before the outro, so we can really settle into the outro and get into Imaginary. This song, it's about someone who is deeply religious but doesn't want to be around anymore, and they take that action for that to be the case, but they're wondering if Christ will save them, since that is known to be a sin, right? Back in the day, there was some confusion about whether Evanescence were considered a Christian band. I think some band members wanted that more than others. I don't think Amy was too interested in making that explicit, but I think Ben and David were pushing it a bit more. That element of their lyricism is more evident in this song, but thankfully it's not preachy. That's what I like about it. It's like kind of more used for dramatic effect. It's like more of a philosophical musing than anything else. So I can totally get behind it. Totally can get behind the drama, the darkness. Whether you're religious or not, I think that even despite the, kind of hopeless nature of this song, I can see how exploring that hopeless emotion might actually help people to come out of their holes psychologically, just to know that other people have endured similar mental torment, basically. All right, time for the epic transition. There is someone that was credited in the personnel list of this album with helping out a lot with the string arrangements, and he did an amazing job. Really amazing. So, like, no words. What we're hearing right now. Trying to bite my tongue and not say it again, but I have to say it again. Iconic. Iconic.
I linger in the doorway of alarm clocks, screaming monsters calling my name. Let me stay where the wind will whisper to me, where the raindrops as they're falling tell the story. In my field of paper flowers and candy clouds of lullaby, I lay inside myself for hours and watch my purple sky fly over me. Don't
I mean, this song is just mind-blowingly good. I did discuss this one a lot because it's an older song. There is an older version of it in the Origin album, which I reacted to. I'll try not repeat myself from that one, but it is the quintessential Evanescence track. Everything about this song screams the soul of the band. And I think Amy has said that herself. There's versions of this song that go all the way back to their really early EPs, even before Origin. And I'm really glad that they managed to elevate it even more into this final definitive version for Fallen. This version of the song clears, in my opinion. It's so unbelievably good. That crushing riff that happens in the intro that we don't hear at all until the end of the song. So they're avoiding that element of repetition. You're giving us that crushing riff, and then we get some release with the more acoustic style of the verses, a style that we haven't experienced yet on the album. So we are feeling like we're progressing in the album into some slightly different styles. And that more delicate acoustic feeling enhances the actual meaning of the lyrics as well, because it's more dreamlike, more floaty, more ethereal, and the chorus is insanely powerful as well with Amy's vocal delivery. I love the contrast between her soft delivery for some lines and her like bellowing, powerful delivery for other lines. Let's keep it going.
Don't say I'm out of touch with this rampant chaos, your reality. I know
The harmonies.
what lies beyond my sleeping refuge, the nightmare I built my own world to escape.
So here we have the soft delivery, the power, the softness. Again, hypnotizing. The leap into the power. I do want to highlight this cool moment, the little intrusive guitar before the chorus hits. Such a creative touch. It's those tiny touches that really make it legendary. This descent, also beautiful. And this bridge is absolute magic. oddly groovy for how emotional it is. It totally works. What a transition. And I talked in the Origin review about how that bridge was actually the intro of the older version of the song, and they moved it from the intro to the bridge. I personally love it as the bridge. I think it works both ways, but the execution of this bridge moving into the solo, absolute gaggery. Like, saving this heavy riff for the very end. So smart, so good. Really makes the end of the song feel so devastating. Another unbelievable song. Possibly a top 5 Evanescence song. Objectively, I would say definitely a top 5 Evanescence song. That's just my opinion. I doubt that many fans would disagree with me there. I believe even Amy said recently that she wished it had been a single, and I think a lot of us fans are manifesting that. Like, maybe one day there will be a video for this, who knows? Lyrically, this song is about wanting to escape into your dream world, your escapism, your imaginary land, because the real world is too difficult to deal with. A sentiment that's evoked beautifully by the music, as I said, particularly in the acoustic elements, such as the piano and guitar. And I think the best lyric of the song, again, is in the bridge, swallowed up in the sound of my screaming, cannot cease for the fear of silent nights. That's poetry. Some truly affecting stuff, and I believe Amy wrote those lyrics when she was very, very young. They came from a true place of inspiration. Next is Taking Over Me. Another pretty good song, but this is where I might have some critical things to say. Absolutely beautiful melody in that verse. Absolutely beautiful. Alright. My honest thoughts on this one is that this is one of the weakest songs on the album. Weaker than Everybody's Fool. It might be joint weakest. I'm not going to tell you which other one I think is down low there yet. But it's fine. It's perfectly good song. Well produced. There's just nothing about it that really hits me or seems unique. It pretty much takes elements from all of the other songs and repackages them into an acceptable album track, filler track, but just doesn't reach the heights. of the other songs is all. And that riff, dun dun da 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 da, it's a bit ripped off from Going Under, the riff in the verse of Going Under. We also got a very similar riff in the second verse of Haunted. So this is like the third occurrence of that pattern. Da 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 da. One criticism I have for this album is it does get a bit repetitive once you hit this point in the record. Still really enjoyable and up for debate, of course. But for this song, we have the piano intro, a kind of generic electronic drum kit in the verse. I think the best part about it is that verse melody by Amy and her delivery, but I'd also say that the pitch correction on her voice is way over the top on this song. The pitch correction is present throughout the album, and I said this in my critique of my Immortal band version, that I don't hold it against any studio recording that uses pitch correction. But when it's overly evident, such as certain points in this first verse here, so robotically clean, that run, that just takes me out of it a little bit. It's not grating, but it is bordering on overly produced, just for particular moments in this song. But the melody is strong. And the melody has a good rhythmic sensibility with the whole, but who can decide? Like the little pauses there enhance the rhythm a lot. Very groovy and funky. So yeah, like this song, it has its strong points, definitely. But I think I've covered mostly why I don't like it that much. Also, the chorus is kind of like whatever to me. John LeCompte, who was part of the group for this album and The Open Door, had a hand in writing this song, and he also had a hand in writing All That I'm Living For in The Open Door. And neither this song nor All That I'm Living For I care for that much, so I feel like his writing isn't to my taste. Okay, there's something not connecting there for me, but I know I might be alone in that. I've seen many fans say that this is one of their favorite songs, and I know that my brother had this one on repeat, so it is purely a matter of taste, and I remember he loved this, so just goes to show. See how heavy the pitch correction is there? A little much. I love the lyrics though, and I love Amy's delivery. I love that slight alteration of the chorus melody. I'll give up, going a little higher for the second chorus. It is small touches like that that bring me back to this album constantly. Nice tension coming up in this bridge. That part's pretty good. Pretty good build here too. Ate that up. I like this outro too. So yeah, I like this song. I actually do like it. Just comparatively is just a little weaker than the rest is all. Yeah, of course, we love the whole taking over me. Gorgeous. That may be a reflection of the chorus harmonies from earlier, actually. I'm not entirely sure. Let me see. Yeah, you can hear it under there. Taking over me. Yeah, nice touch, bringing that into the final outro. And lyrically, we might be in religious territory again with this one. I believe in you. I'll give up everything just to find you. I want to be with you, to live, to breathe. You're taking over me. Could be talking about God. You saw me mourning my love for you and touched my hand. I knew you loved me then. And it could be about wanting to get back into God's good graces, because you know God does tend to hold grudges. You could apply the lyrics to a sort of relationship situation, but that might be one other criticism I have for the song, is that the lyrics are a bit vague, a little bit goth teen phase, scribbling in your notebook type stuff. Though I do like the poetry of some of the lines. Like, who can decide what they dream? I like that. It's got plenty of imagination for me to enjoy it. Okay, we're going to move on to the next song, which is Hello.
Playground, school bell rings again. Rain clouds come to play again. Has no one told you she's not breathing? Hello, I'm your mind, giving you someone to talk to. Hello.
So heartbreaking. So in case you weren't aware, I might as well, mention right off the bat that this song is about Amy's sister, I believe, who died very young. And that is the reason why this song is very personal and has never been performed live. The mood of the song, the absolute crushing devastation is totally present. There's a lot of subtle dissonance in that piano melody, the arpeggios we have going on here. It's a very dark, uneasy space we're in, with hints of sadness and emotion and wanting to get over this, unscalable obstacle, but having to face reality. And Amy's vocal here is simply stunning. The simple approach of the piano and her vocal, paired with the general tone of the melody and the chord progression, make it a very captivating listen. You really are transported and you feel like you're engrossed in this tragedy, and the lyrics are extremely affecting. You can tell they really came from a personal space. The ideas that she comes out with here lyrically, extremely powerful song on the album. The only legitimate critique that I can see for the song is maybe it affects the album's cohesion slightly, just tonally and sonically. It's a bit left field. As much as I love this song, I would love to have seen it on one of Amy's solo projects or something like that, where it would have had a better home. That's literally the only critical thing I can say about it. Let's keep it going.
If I smile and don't believe, soon I know
The haunting little piano runs in the higher end.
from this dream.
Great touch.
Don't try to fix me, I'm not broken. Hello, I'm the lie, living for you so
A chromatic descent in the background, also an underrated touch in this song. And the cello solo, really drawing out the heartache, the sorrow. Then make way for the finale.
Suddenly I know I'm not sleeping. I'm still here. All that's left of
Got a lump in my throat. Yeah, you can't escape the tears when listening to this album. That final part, suddenly I know I'm not sleeping. Hello, I'm still here, all that's left of yesterday. It's saying so much with such simple phrasing, an incredibly moving and powerful vocal, incredibly moving and powerful song. And after hearing this song, I feel almost bad jumping back into some rockin' riffs. That's why I feel like this song deserved to be released in a better context, I'd say. But at the same time, maybe it would never have seen the light of day if Amy hadn't fought for it to be on the album. So be careful what you wish for. Next song is another strong one. It is My Last Breath. I love the electronic intro and this melodic riff. Song is another really good one.
Can you hear me? Can you feel me in your arms? Holding my last breath, safe inside myself. Are all my thoughts of you, sweet raptured light, it ends here tonight.
With this song, I feel somewhat similarly about it to Taking Over Me, where it's like we've already kind of explored most of the elements that this song is using sonically. I can easily see how many listeners might consider it, an album track or a filler track, but it just, to my ears, has like a much stronger foundation and much more distinct identity than a song like Taking Over Me. I love the melodic riffs, and just in general, the harmonic nature of this song is quite special, and Amy's vocal on it is so good, and the lyrics are really interesting. We are going to explore them after I discuss the music. My essential conclusion is that this is a really good song. Like, I wouldn't consider this a weak song at all. Maybe not as memorable as some of the major bangers, but I do wish that this song got a little bit more flowers. I'm always happy to put it on, always.
Miss the winter, a world of fragile things. Look for me in the white forest, hiding in a hollow tree. I know you hear me.
This part.
I can taste it in your tears, holding my last breath.
Like, that might be one of the most powerfully impactful vocal moments on the whole album. And your tears! So freaking epic. It's vocal takes like that that really cemented her as the voice of a generation. And that lyric is so good as well. I can taste it in your tears, the alliteration. This is another strange bridge that I'm a little unsure about. Like, it's fine. It's okay. It's all about the entrance back into this. Alright, so this is really cool what they did with this final chorus. They're using a counterpoint melody, so you're getting the lead, which is holding my last breath, and then you have the counterpoint, which is the say goodnight, and it's overlapping, creating a beautiful effect. That's counterpoint. I think they're borrowing a little bit from the Max Martin approach of writing pop music here. If you'll recall, like, for example, Britney's song Baby One More Time, how the bridge goes, I must confess to my loneliness, right? And that, at the end of the song, is overlapped with the main chorus. So I think that Evanescence may have borrowed a little bit of that here. I don't know if it was conscious, but I see a connection there, is all. How the counterpoint starts the section and then the main chorus is overlaid on top of it. Starting about here, right? Bringing the chorus back. I think Amy is putting a little bit more heart into the lead for this final chorus. And that counterpoint melody has gone away now, and the lead melody, and we're left with the harmonies. So creative and fun. And with a great focus on the drums here to lead us out. So this is Rocky Gray's moment to shine. Perhaps his only moment he ever shone. At least in Evanescence. I mean, yeah, amazing drum outro. And maybe that was a bit mean-spirited. I didn't mean to say that it was the only moment he ever shone in Evanescence. Obviously, there's other great drum moments in Evanescence. It's just that the drums would never be the first thing that comes to mind when someone thinks of this group, unfortunately. Though I feel like that has changed, I'd say, in their later material to a more drum-friendly sound, shall we say. Now, lyrically, I've always thought that this song was simply about someone who is dying and they're being held by their loved one. They're just holding on to their last breath because they want to spend as much time as possible with their loved one. But I heard somewhere recently that this song is inspired by 9/11, holding my last breath, safe inside myself are all my thoughts of you. Kind of giving maybe someone buried under rubble, and also the imagery of, look for me in the white forest, hiding in a hollow tree, come find me. The white forest being, the debris, the fog, the dust, and the hollow tree, which, could be a column or something like that. The more I think about it, the more I start seeing that. But as always, when it comes to their lyrics, you can apply it either way, whatever you personally get from it. Okay, and we are back. Sorry for the lighting change, but this is quite the monster of the album to cover, so I need some brief breaks in between. Let's move right into the final song of the official tracklist, Whisper. Great riff.
Catch me as I fall. Say you're here and it's all over now. Speaking to the atmosphere. No one's here and I fall into myself.
Good sound design here.
This truth drives me.
I like how the drum machine develops. And the prominence of the choir in this song is great too. I really like the call and response in the chorus. So this is another song that I think is really good, really solid. It wouldn't be one of my favorites, since I just feel so strongly about some of the earlier ones that I covered, but I really can't hate on this song too much. When I did my Origin review, Whisper is pretty much the first full song on Origin. I talked about how, comparatively speaking, I never got obsessed with this song. Like, it is a bit underwhelming compared to some of their other bangers, which are like insanely good. This song I'm happy to like, and I'm like, bopping along to it, but I'm not really like feeling it deep down. I do like how Amy's voice sounds in the chorus of this particular version of the song. It pairs really well with the texture of the guitars. It does sound very big and epic. There's just something about the vocal melody and the general pace of it that just not really obsessed with is all. Like, I can understand why it was put at the very end of the album. Someone in the band thought that this song was not the best foot to put forward, you know what I mean? But I do think it was well adapted as the closer for the album. I can bop along to it, right? Love those background vocals, that's a really good part. Like, this album is full of bits, small details, and the subtlety of the riff in that second verse is nice. I do like that call and response, that's quite tasty. And coming up right here, this bridge I think is the best part. I am obsessed with this gothic poem here. can actually hear the bass here coming through a little bit, quite nice. Like, I haven't talked about the bass once in this album, have I? Just not something you really notice.
Don't turn away. Don't try.
Yeah, I don't know why. This song just, it never captivated me that way. Except for its little bits and bobs. This drop here is good though. That is sick. Because it is leaning more weird, experimental, trying something different. I love those background vocals. Really came through with the ending. Absolutely killed the ending of the song. To be fair, I forgot how good the ending was. Really got taken to the next level, a darker dimension that I do find to be captivating. And you know, this orchestral, classical influenced outro is really fun too. How the strings are kind of dancing around. Yeah, and with that, the official tracklist anyway comes to a close. But I'm eager to discuss some of the bonus tracks. We got some really good stuff there. Do they even still perform this song live, ever? It wouldn't surprise me if it had been done away with for good. And yeah, the lyrics are kind of veering towards the generic gothic whining and complaining. hard to grasp. There could be some religious thing in there. Again, it's likely, in fact, you know, the thing about don't close your eyes because God knows what lies behind them. Don't turn away. Possibly just about facing your demons or something like that. But not a really powerful message that I can get sucked into either. So lyrically, I do feel this one is not as good as the rest. But I would be interested to hear if you get something particularly personal from these lyrics. All right, we're moving into a song that I believe is severely underrated in their discography and could even make my personal top 5 Evanescence songs ever. It is Missing. Vocals paired with the string arrangement, unbelievable. Really a lot of emotion in this vocal performance. The little acoustic guitar coming in too for texture. It's dawning on me, there's a lot of hip-hop influence in their stuff. It could be the hook of a hip-hop song almost. how the drums come in heavier here. You're getting that development. Very powerful. The production details are insane. Something else that I think really makes this song super strong is how catchy it is. There's a lot of repetition of the line, "Isn't something missing? Isn't someone missing me?" And it happens a lot. It happens in the pre-chorus and in the chorus. And that little element of repeating the lyrics helps the song's message to really get to your core, whatever that message is. This is another song where the lyrics are a little ambiguous, though in this case it's not a bad thing for me, because the meaning seems quite coherent, whichever way you take it, and we'll get to that. But like Amy's vocal in this is so amazing. I love the chord progression. The string arrangement in this song really supports it perfectly well. Everything is so well balanced. And there's no other song they've really made that sounds like this. Just purely focused on the electronic beat with an amazing vocal, amazing strings, and some slight texture with acoustic guitar, and that's it, and some harmonies. And achieved a result as powerful as this. Top quality Evanescence stuff is what we have on our hands here. Again, repeating some lyrics from the first verse for impact. Honestly, one of her most impressive studio vocal recordings, in my opinion. Lots of nuances to this performance. There's not a whole lot of like epic high notes, it's more about the expressiveness of the piece. Amazing bridge, and I really want to experience this outro in silence. So amazing. Wow. Once again, I've welled up. Could be one of my favorite songs of all time, to be honest. That outro with just the strings and her voice is one of the most beautifully composed things I've ever heard. It's the taste of knowing how to finish that song. They didn't make it into some bombastic finish. They took all the energy down, put the focus purely on Amy and the strings, and that string arrangement is absolutely gorgeous. And how it matches her energy as it comes down to the final dark moment where the vocal melody takes a dark turn just to finish the song on the final note, the final repetition, actually, to close out that emotion. There's that darkness, and you're left with despair. the absolute drama. I mean, absolutely living for this. It's theatrical but deeply emotional to my ear, and I just can't express the profound feelings that they achieved with this particular song. Lyrically, it may be getting at some religious aspect again. You know, even though I'm the sacrifice, you won't cry from me. Though I die to know you love me, I'm all alone. Isn't something missing? Could be talking about the big dude, the cross, the sacrifice for our souls kind of thing. I think that's very likely, but I like that the lyrics are ambiguous enough that you can apply your own meaning to it. You know, on the other hand, it could be about just someone who's lonely, who is asking, isn't someone missing me? Won't someone reach out to me? Someone who is feeling quite alone and helpless and doesn't know what to do, how to approach it. Multi-layered song, both thematically and musically, simply amazing. You know, it is interesting because it's not in that heavier style. It's a very unique sounding song in their discography. It's got the high level of production, but also has the focus on a more electronic groove. And I feel like you don't get those two things with them. Either it's the electronic groove and low quality production, as in their previous demos, or it's in high quality production, but it's a full rock situation. And as for why it was left off the album, I guess I can kind of see it, but I do think that Hello should have been the bonus track, and Missing could have taken Hello's place, and the album would have felt a bit more cohesive that way, because the energy wouldn't have been taken down so much with Hello. We would have been able to keep that momentum going a little bit. All right, let's move on to Farther Away. Another amazing track. Love the B-sides of this album too. There's no misses really. This song goes so hard. Those toms. All right, Rocky. Here's another Rocky Gray moment. Really tense, sinister, evil sounding track. Before we crash into that second verse, I just gotta express how much I loved this song. Unfortunately, this was left off the main track list. I guess I can kind of see why, but I think it was a mistake to not put this song on the main track list. It doesn't fit in that formula that most of the other songs were going for, and that's actually another slight criticism I would have for this album, is that it can get a little formulaic. When you take a broad outside view of all the songs and how they sound, you can see the clear formula that they have. Chunky riffs, some electronic beats here and there, and a flowing melodic line. But this song kind of breaks out of that mold, and it may be why maybe some studio exec made the call that this was not going to be allowed on there. It's a shame because this is a catchy, heavy, hard-hitting song. I guess the chorus could be criticized for being overly repetitive, although I don't see it that way. I think it's a simple melody that hits hard, pairs well with the riff, and it just kind of lands on you like a ton of bricks, especially due to how Amy delivers the lyrics. It's nasty, you know? Like, I said the Haunted drop was the heaviest, but this would have beaten Haunted if it had been on the album. This is so good, like what the heck? Waste of a really good song to bury it on some single, you know? love how this instrumentation is really metal and rock focused. No strings, no choir. It's dark, it's heavy. Let's go! Really glad that we have an epic live version to enjoy from Anywhere But Home. But I love the studio version too, like her vocals on this. In this finale, the song epic. She really takes it away here. Oh my god. Evil goddess. Dark goddess of the underworld. Jeez Louise. Like, for real, how powerful would this song have been also as the album closer, perhaps, to replace Whisper? Is that controversial? The grittiness to lead us out. So that song, in my opinion, as you can tell, is an absolute banger. And I'd happily put this one on over tracks like Everybody's Fool, Taking Over Me, and Whisper. We could have switched out one of those in the track list, but that's just my taste. I just really do feel like this song is that interesting and that different in its sound compared to a lot of the other ones on Fallen that are a little safer sounding and don't get quite as down and dirty as this. The lyrics are pretty cool because they're unlike a lot of their other lyrics where the perspective is from someone who maybe is the wronged one. But in this song, the narrator is the one who caused the hurt, and they are now suffering the consequences. I took their smiles and I made them mine. I sold my soul just to hide the light. So this is someone who is manipulative, who has stepped over others to get their way. They have potentially lost the person that they care about, as in the chorus. I run to you, call out your name, I see you there farther away. Like the person that they really care about has now left them and is no longer reachable. Really cool perspective in the lyrics. Just like a different take in the narrator's perspective from a lot of their other tracks. It makes you wonder if there's any autobiographical truth to it as well. Okay, we're moving on to the final song of the album reaction. This has been a lot of fun, but we have a really nice one left here to enjoy. This is Breathe No More. What a beautiful piano hook to open the song.
I've been looking in the mirror for so long that I've come to believe my soul's on the other side. All the little pieces falling, shattered, shine.
A stunning ballad that should never be forgotten. I love how the structure of this song is a little different, where it's not really verse, chorus, verse, chorus. It's more like verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, chorus. Then verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, chorus. Really interesting structure, and I love how the chorus is just similar lines repeated, but with slightly different melodies. And I bleed, and I breathe. The extension of that note, it kind of ties everything together. It's what gives this song its identity. Really strong chorus, beautiful vocal melodies throughout, really nice chord progression that moves the song along in a way that is slightly unpredictable, but it's all brought back in the chorus. I would say that the live version of this song in Anywhere But Home with the acoustic guitar and the drums easily clears this version, really adds a whole other dimension to the song. This studio recording, the production is a bit off. There's something about it that isn't quite right. Like, Amy's voice is very loud and piercing. That is a slight mixing issue, and the pitch correction may be back in full force here again, where her voice, there's something slightly unnatural and more highly processed going on here, even in comparison to some of their other acoustic recordings, like the last song, I'm Wasting on You. But the song itself and Amy's vocal on it is outstanding. It's just the way this is produced I am not that fond of. Let's keep it going.
No more. Take a breath, and I try to draw from my spirit's well.
I really love these lyrics.
Yet again, you refuse to drink like a stubborn child. Lie to me, convince
Like, those high notes, they hurt my ears a little bit. There could have been some adjustment to the volume of those.
and all of this will make sense
On the producer's side, just to soften those. It is an audio engineering problem more than a performance issue, though. Just to clarify that.
Between myself and my reflection, I just can't help but to wonder, which of us do you love? So I bleed.
She has such interesting emotional inflections in her voice. For every single song, she's always giving you something slightly different. This moment is really pretty here, where we slow things down. And I love the slight variation of the piano at the end here. So compositionally sound. Really quite a beautiful song, melodically, structurally, lyrically, performance-wise. I just think that this song evolves into its true form in the Anywhere But Home version. So if you haven't heard that version, I would highly recommend looking it up. And hopefully I will get to discuss that version at some point on the channel as well. The lyrics for this song are pretty cryptic. There is a theme of a mirror shattering, for reflection. Obviously, there is some element of self-exploration going on here. Perhaps it's trying to explore, who she is, get to the core of her identity. Maybe there's an element of trying to force an identity, but failing because of her true nature, as expressed by the line, "I tried to draw from my spirit's well, yet again you refuse to drink like a stubborn child." So let me know what your interpretation of these lyrics are. They might be the most cryptic lyrics out of all the songs we've discussed today. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. So my overall thoughts on this album are that it is a rock/heavy metal classic. It was, I believe, one of the highest selling albums of the 2000s. It was in the top 10, I believe. This album is not short of fans, and with good reason. So while I might have some issues with some of the production choices, and some of the songwriting can get, admittedly, a little formulaic, especially in the second half of the album, I cannot stress enough how potent and powerful and unique this record is, and especially was for its time. It really changed the game. It really put forward to the world, in a relatively accessible way, what this symphonic, gothic, theatrical sound paired with metal is capable of. Amy cemented herself as one of the most prolific rock vocalists of all time with this debut. The band continue to enjoy a really solid following to this day. They're always on tour. They're doing what they love. They continue to put out quality stuff. But I just wanted to revisit this album and give it its flowers, as I've never really sat down and thought through it like this. The songwriting is, despite some of my nitpicks, again, the songwriting is amazing. The arrangements are next level. The catchiness, the lyrics, I don't know how they did it. They absolutely knocked it out of the park. There's been nothing like it since, except for maybe The Open Door. And I will cover that album too. My plan is to hopefully cover their whole discography before they come out with a new album, which I believe is in the works. It's definitely in the works, actually, because Amy has said so. But what I'm not sure of is if it's actually going to come out in album form or if it's going to be drip-fed through singles. So I feel like I need to get myself in gear and start covering their stuff more frequently. But I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts on this album and what you thought of my critique and analysis. And be sure to check out my other Evanescence content through the Evanescence Reactions playlist, also down below. If you don't know me, my name is Ohak Cade. I'm the composer for the symphonic metal project Valkada. We recently put out a new song called Overload the Reactor. The link is also down below. I'd love to hear what you think. I am on Patreon if you fancy your own reaction requests, early access, and polls. And there is also a link to my full reaction database spreadsheet if you're curious about all of the other music I've covered on the channel. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Thanks so much and take care.